about you coming here because it was really special. I don't remember what was going on, but I remember talking to my dad, and my dad and I didn't have a real good relationship growing up. But over, when I got into my 20s and so forth, we're really close now. But so I remember telling him about you and showing him your Facebook page, and I was all impressed. And I want to make sure we get back to talking about you being on stage, because you did stage, you did competitions too. So I was sharing with my dad all this, and he says, you should invite her to come to your body and soul retreat. Because at the time, I was doing the body and soul retreats, and I said, that's a great idea. And so I just messaged you. I'm like, would you like to come? And you were like, yes. And so here in my, lack of understanding and lack of really knowing, I'm like, okay, so it's a 2-day deal, and there's 2 workouts, one at a track and one at the power park, which is an outdoor obstacle course, and then an indoor Ninja Warrior stuff. So I'm like, wow, okay, Barbie. And you're like, yeah, I'd love to come. And I was like, okay, great. And then I remember as we got closer, all of a sudden you're like, well, I've got a boot on my foot, but I'm still coming.
Because I had this surgery that was supposed to be fairly non-invasive, and they promised me that I would not be in that boot past 2 weeks. And they lied. So I ended up being in that boot for like 7 weeks. And so I wasn't planning on being in a boot still when I came to your retreat, but I was.
Well, and I just don't.
Good. I mean, there was a lot I didn't do, but I did what I could.
We go from 4 down to really 1 usable limb for you. Right. I was just so impressed. And so just for those of you that are watching, this was called the Body and Soul Retreat that I was hosting for a few years. And it was a women's retreat. It was 2 days. And both day we had a workout, and then we also had a nutritional seminar, and we also did a spiritual nutrition seminar. So Barbie came out, and I was taking the women to Power Park, which is a outdoor obstacle course. There's about I think it's about a 2, maybe 2.4 miles or something like this, outdoor through the hill country. And there's about 26 to 30 obstacles all through this path. And then, of course, the indoor Ninja Warrior training is, the big gym there. And so here's Barbie going with everyone with a boot on her foot, walking the whole way. And so I don't know if you ever told me, but after, and of course you did some of the obstacles too. Like
I did some of them. Yeah, I remember carry a log and I don't know, climbing some. Well, I don't remember. I did some of them. I did what I could.
Well, and you remember the upside down things that we helped you use your legs to go across the, I don't remember what it's called. It was like we had you upside down, and we held you up, and you used your legs to, but it was just cool because you were like, I want to try everything that I can try. Like,
right.
And here's so many women that are like, oh, I can't go and do that. I'm like, well, you can at least come try. Like, don't be afraid to try. I've struggled with this for my whole, there was about almost 20 years where I've hosted women's fitness events between the Femme Camp and the Body and Soul Retreat. And I would hear so many times women just say, well, I can't come to your event because I'm not in shape, or I can't do those things, or I don't go to I can't go to the track with your Wonder Woman training because I can't sprint. I'm like, it's just about trying. And you had the try, and you've always had the try. And I guess that's what you were raised to learn to try.
I wasn't allowed to say I can't. Especially if I hadn't tried. I remember my parents, I would say, oh, I can't. Well, have you tried? How do you know you can't?
So I guess your boys never got to use that. I can't.
Ever. No, my motto is can't is not an option. I mean, if you want to do something badly enough, you'll figure out a way.
Yeah. So you go through this whole retreat with us, and I wanted to know, after you got home and everything, was your foot, did you make it worse, or is it?
I was pretty sore the morning of the track workout. I didn't do any of the track workout stuff.
You took care of the baby.
I think from there, because I have a really good friend from high school who lives in Kyle. And so I drove from San Antonio after the retreat to Kyle and went and stayed with her for a few days before I went home. I don't know. It was like a total of about 7 weeks I was in that stinking boot. So, and that didn't even really help my foot. So it was really a waste, but I don't know that it made it worse. I remember I was pretty sore. I probably overdid it, but I always.
You were awesome. It was so fun. I have a question. How do you haul luggage?
Some I can carry depending on what kind of handles they have or whatever. But if I've got big suitcases, I usually just find someone who works at the airport and have them help me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there's still people like that are willing.
Yeah. Or I mean, now most of the suitcases have 4 wheels, good wheels, and you can just kind of push it. So I do that too if I need to.
Yeah.
I make it work.
Right. I always laugh because, sometimes I'm kind of juggling, bags and luggage, and sometimes I'll have my dog with me, and I know people always like, how do you handle all that? I'm like, if I'm bringing it, I need to be able to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, what choice do you have? You just do.
I mean, and I have the use of my arms, so I'm like, I got it. That's me.
I have one friend that I travel with sometimes, and she had a stroke several years ago, and so her left hand doesn't work very well. And you should see us with her trying to drag our suitcases, and we always joke because between the two of us, we have one good hand. It's pretty comical watching us. I'm sure.
Yeah. But you'll probably smiling the whole time and
we laugh ourselves the whole time. Yes.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I want to kind of change directions, and I want to talk about your athletic endeavors.
Okay.
Because you have been on stage and you're a swimmer, and now you're doing pole fitness. Is that, am I saying it right? Pole fitness?
Yeah.
Pole dancing? Like,
I would just say pole dancing, pole fitness, pole whatever.
Pole swinging. So let's go back kind of and talk about the competition on stage.
Okay.
And like, how many shows have you done, and kind of talk about your experience doing competitions?
I think we probably have to go back further than that, because growing up, I was athletic. I mean, I used to do, this is kind of funny, but I used to do the Jane Fonda workouts with my mom.
Cool.
And they would go to the gym, I'd go with them, and sometimes they'd let us, this is back before they had kids club at the gym, so we have to just go and sit there and watch. But they would let us work out with them and do stuff. So I remember doing leg extensions with my dad sometimes. And but I also played soccer growing up, and I was in dance and swim team. So I grew up pretty athletic, and I used to even love playing football in the yard with my brothers and their friends, mostly because my brothers had cute friends and I could tackle them.
Okay, I'm still like, you say these things, and I'm like trying to figure out, how do you tackle someone? Are you literally running?
So early. I've had more than one person tell me they remember in kindergarten, first grade, I would chase the boys and tackle them and try to kiss them, and they would like be fighting me and trying to not get kissed. But yeah, I used to tackle them. So some things never change, I guess. But yeah, especially I put my arms on because I had prosthetics for a while, and I'd go out there and tackle those boys. I knew.
So with prosthetic arms, you were able to move them?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, they don't move like your arms move, obviously, that, I could move bend the elbow and turn the wrist and open the hand, open and close the hand. So
is that okay? How does that happen? Is it attached to, because your brain is what sends the signals down. So I know your brain is obviously very intelligent and capable, but how does that, I just don't understand the science behind that.
Right. Well, there were different mechanisms. So I had, shoulders with the arms. At one point I had just a right arm, which I liked, but there was still a harness that went around my body and connected in the front. And there was a rocker switch inside that I could use with my shoulder, my nub, I call it, that did one of the functions. There was a cable across the back that if I would shrug my shoulders a little bit, my wrist would turn. If I shrugged them a little more, I would turn the other direction. Which I never learned how to control very well. And sometimes my wrist would go around and around, and I didn't even know it was moving.
I'm sorry, but you're so cute.
Whatever. And then I had to learn, they had these myo electrodes, I think, and I had to learn how to control individual muscles in my shoulders to activate the switches to, open the hand or close the hand or whatever.
Wow. Okay. A whole nother learning curve.
Yeah, they were a pain in the butt. They were heavy, they were hot, they broke down a lot. The battery would, die. It'd be in the middle of a school day. I'd have to raise my foot and ask if I can go take my arm off, and then I have to carry this darn arm around my backpack all day. It was a pain in the butt. I hated them. I just feel much more natural using my feet. Yeah.
You know what? No wonder you're so spunky. The things that you've had to do, like, can I go take my arm off, please? Like,
Right, I know. Well, we thought it was fun. My mom and I thought it was fun to leave my arm in the back window of the car.
That's cute.
Reaction.
You have such a good sense of humor about all of this after all of these years.
Okay. I mean, if you have to be able to laugh at yourself, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not going to laugh at myself. Someone's going to. I might as well. Things are just funny. Things happen, and it's how can you not laugh?
Okay, so you were tackling boys and trying to kiss them, and you were very athletic with all things.
Soccer, dance,
swimming,
running. I got into running a little bit in high school. I never have been a great runner. Definitely not Monica Brant, that's for sure. And now I don't run at all. I don't like running. But
what an amazing thing to think of those doctors that said you would maybe lose your legs. I mean, lose your life. Your legs, and here you are just saying, I don't like to run, or like anymore, you know, like how crazy is that? You wonder if those doctors, what they ever thought of you actually being able to do this, you know, the life you've led, like.
Right. And I started gymnastics actually as an adult. I think after I competed a few times, I competed in fitness. I think after a couple shows when I decided to start gymnastics, which that is another challenge, obviously. And I never did really master the things I wanted to master to the point where I would do them up on stage. I was totally comfortable doing some of them at the gymnastics gym on the spring floor with mats, whatever, but doing them up on stage, a whole different story. I would, you know, get fearful every time, freak out, and throw something else in its place. Instead of doing a back flip, I maybe did a back shoulder roll, or instead of a suicide or a front flip, I would do, you know, a forward roll or somersault, whatever. I chickened out every single time.
Right. You know what? But being on those hard floors versus a spring floor is
different,
really different. And then you're up high and the lighting and you're depleted. I mean, there's such a different dynamics of being at a gymnastics place and feeling comfortable and spacious. Like I'm real big about space. Like if I feel like claustrophobic in an area, I just don't have the same confidence as being in a big open area where you can feel like you can move and, you know, of course, then you mats and stuff. So yeah, that is quite, don't beat yourself up over that. That was,
I'm not, because what's funny is I've heard so many people say, oh, I remember just watching you flip all over that stage. And I'm going, really? Not once did I ever not once, because I always chickened out and would throw something else in its place. But
well, you left a lasting impression and people never knew the difference. They were just like, she's flipping around. That's great.
Crazy. But
so what was so as far as the competitions, how many did you do?
I don't even know. I'd have to really sit down and go back and
how many years?
I competed from 2003 all the way to 2019. In 2019, though, I switched over to figure. My hips said no more of those fitness moves, no more.
So you did fitness from 03 to up to 2019?
Yeah, well, 2019, wow. I competed twice in 19 and did. I'm done. To me, I didn't really care for figure. Fitness to me was so much more fun, entertaining. But my older son, Jordan, has competed, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. And every now and then he gets that bug and thinks he's going to compete again, and he wants me to compete with him. So I said, that is the only way I will compete again, is if he does and he wants to do one together. So,
well, that would be really special.
Yeah, it would be special. So we'll see. I don't know. He's kind of, enjoying food at the moment, and so
I know you have to give that little enjoyment up for a while.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see if he ever decides to get back on that wagon. Then I'll do it with him one more time.
Okay. Well, you'll have to let me know if you do, because we'll have to have you guys come on the show together.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. You know what I really would love to do, and I heard they were going to be bringing it back. I don't know, is the mixed pairs. Yeah.
Wow, they should.
That might be a rumor that I heard, that so far it isn't happening, but I think that would be fun. And and he said that would be really fun to do. When I explained to him, with the mixed pairs, that's bodybuilding. There's a whole lot of mandatories I cannot do, and I do not have the symmetry. So we would have to do it just for the experience, just for the fun of it, to do it together. So
yes, for sure. For
yeah.
sure.
So if that happens, I'm sure we'll do it.
Okay. That would be fun to see.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. I love it. Okay, so that was a long time. I didn't realize you had been on stage that many years.
Yeah, a long time.
So right before the end. Yeah.
I stayed on the national circuit there towards the end. I stayed on the national circuit for a while and just did that until you could tell when you look back at pictures and stuff, you can tell when my heart wasn't really in it anymore. It became a chore. It wasn't as much fun. And so I gave it up for a while, then picked it back up and did a little more. But I said, if it's not fun anymore, I'm not doing it.
Right. So now you're having fun on the pole. So let's talk about that.
It is fun. It's another challenge. I mean, obviously I have my limitations with that too, but I do what I can. And every now and then figure out something. Like the other day, I was doing something and figured out this whole new thing. I'm like, I don't even know what this thing is called, but this is cool. And then a couple of people said, oh, that's called a hip hold. I didn't know what that was, but it happened. Cool.
Okay. So cool. So is there I guess there's a location near you that you go to regularly? And
I was going to a place, and then COVID happened, and they were being very strict about the whole mask thing, and I am not about that. I'm not trying to work out in a mask. I like to breathe. And so I found someone to start coming to my house. So I've got my dining room is no longer a dining room. It's a pole room, and I've got 2 poles up in there. And I have a third one that's a portable one that I put up now and then. If I'm going to have friends over or something, because I have pole parties now and then. We'll have a bunch of girls over and have my instructor, and she'll teach different things. So if I'm doing that, I'll have all 3 poles up, but usually just my 2.
That's so fun. Well, I'll tell you a story you'll appreciate. It was after the Olympia one year. In Vegas, we competed, and then that night I went to some party. I remember, it was one of the sponsors parties or something, and and then they went to a separate private penthouse, and this penthouse had poles for the girls. So all the girls are over there, and it's a small group of girls, and we're all playing on the pole, trying different things. And of course, I was obviously just competed,
so athletic and performers, and so so
I'm playing around, going and having a fun time. I love anything like gymnastics, poles, all that stuff. I love anything that I can play on like a kid, right, on a playground. So the next day I have a photo shoot, and of course I'm still pretty and of course I'm still really tan, but both of my legs were so bruised up, from holding on the pole, because I wasn't used to that. And it happened overnight, and I remember getting there, I was like, oh my gosh. And so of course, the photographers are like, what did you do? Back then it wasn't just editing wasn't as easy as it is nowadays, but it was kind of funny. I was like, it was really fun though.
It is fun, but your skin has to get conditioned to it. In fact, if I don't do it for a couple of weeks even, and then get back to it, I'm like, oh, this hurts, and I'm covered in bruises. In fact, just the other day I had a lesson, and I was upside down on the pole, and I thought, oh, I wonder if I can do. There was something, I don't know what it was called. And I tried, and oh, nope, I'm on the floor, but I've got a huge bruise on my foot from it. So.
Do you have pads underneath your poles?
Oh yeah. When I'm learning new stuff, I definitely put the pads down for sure. Safety first.
Safety first. I went and followed your, Just for Girls pole.
I saw
Instagram.
Yeah. And I have a lot of friend requests, because that one I keep private. And I've got a few guys on there, but they are really good, trusted friends. Or there's guys on there who are, pole or aerial artists, whatever.
Yeah,
it's a private thing. If I can't tell you're a woman for sure, I'm not adding you.
Yeah. And there's no reason to. You don't need
guys out there who. Yeah, I just don't want to do all that. So I try to keep it just women. It's there really to just inspire women, because there's a lot of women who think I can't do pole, or I can't do this, or I can't do that because of whatever reason. I'm not strong enough, or I'm too fat, or I don't like my body, or whatever. I think women especially have so many hangups, with all of us do, with our bodies, and I think I just want to have that page and show people that it doesn't matter what your abilities are. you can still be sexy, you can still be beautiful, you can still be strong and confident and do what you can. We all have our limitations. I mean, even people with 2 arms and 2 legs are, you know, everyone's limited in some way. So we all have our stuff, I think.
And sometimes we're just limited up here, right?
And I don't think that, you know, being beautiful or being sexy has to be just one. I think we have this image in our minds that society gives us of what's pretty and what's sexy and what's, you know, beautiful. And I don't think it has to be that. We can create our own idea of what that means to us, you know, and just because, I don't know, I don't look like Monica Brant, and Monica Brant is gorgeous, but you know what? I am my own.
That girl.
I don't have to be Monica Brant to be sexy or be beautiful. You know, I can be me and still own that.
Absolutely. And you do. I can't get over how cute your hair is. It really is pretty. Yeah. I love the style and the length and everything.
But you know, it's curly and some days it looks like total crap and other days it behaves. Today it was behaving a little bit. So
hey, even I got 2 arms and some days my hair just looks like total crap too. I'm like, oh.
I just don't stress over it too much anymore. Like you know what? It's hair, and my hair is going to do whatever my hair wants to do. So,
so funny. Hi everyone, Monica here. Just wanted to thank you so much for watching the Monica Brant Show, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share these videos, and oh yeah, and that little bell notification. Don't forget to click that so you'll get more great content every time there's a show uploaded or a video or anything else. So you guys, thank you so much for your support, and as always, stay fit and love life.